Taking a jump for it on camera. Not very nice of you. I'm trying to have a thing. Alright. Let us begin the conversation. Yep. Okay, so today we are looking at week 9. Week 9. We're already so far along. Looks like we've got everyone except for these finishing moves and wandering wounders. That is, we're trying to figure out that time schedule. I have a new job, and so that is causing all kinds of trouble with getting things scheduled. Let's look at this crazy first game of the Underwear Wolves versus Aves of a Fetter. We're going to do something a little similar to last week. We're going to try and just kind of like hammer through, see if we can cut this down a little bit. It'd be kind of cool if we can get a little bit shorter times. Don't need to go through every little detail. You guys are, anyone who's watching it gets to see as well, so, and you guys all saw the numbers, so let's see what we can do here. So, we got the Underwear Wolves versus the Aves of a Fetter, and there's some interesting numbers here. So we got no touchdowns on the Underwear Wolves, so 0-2, 2 touchdowns for Aves of a Fetter, 3 passes. We got 3 armor breaks on Aves, but only we're able to pull out 10 on the Underwear Wolves. I've got a catcher picking up the MVP for Aves and a regular old zombie. It already looks like he's got a little bit of beatdown, picking up some points there, which is kind of a bummer. Looking at ball possession, we got 25% Underwear Wolves and the Aves 50% with 31% on their opponents. Half looks like, that's interesting. How do you have 25% on their own, but 30% there, 31% there? Some weird numbers. So I got 3 passes and 3 successful catches on Aves. Looks like 26 blocks for Wolves and 48 for Aves. We got 2 KOs to 2 KOs, 1 injury to 3 injuries, no kills inflicted. Only 28 yards for the poor Wolves there. They just weren't able to get the ball and go, it looks like. But the humans took off running way fast and way far. 110 yards with 10 yards of passing. Looking at the blocks sustained, we're about the same, like the 48 versus the 48, 20, 46, 46. 2 KOs at each. 3 KOs or 3 casualties sustained by the Underwear Wolves, so it looks like got both down or some kind of like trip up or hurt that happened versus the 2 over here. Got a whole bunch of points from Aves. Got 8 points there, 5 on his catcher for the MVP. Couple of beatdowns, a pass. That's a lot of stuff happening there. Going through the numbers, quick look at the dice. I don't know, that's weird. Interesting dice. We got 14s there on the 4s and 19 on the 6s, but about 25 on all the rest. But then, like the 25 here, that's not bad, pretty average. But then, like this 35 kind of throwing a match there in the middle. Some weird stuff. So we got armor 65%. That's about right. Injuries, rough, but manageable, possibly. Especially with you've got some regeneration. Ooh, got couples that failed though. That's a bummer. Casualties 2 and 1. Regeneration 1 and 2. GFIs get 83%, 5 and 1 is pretty good. Dodges a little low, that's a bummer. Got some 4 misses there. 4 pickups, 1 failed. That's pretty good. I wish I had numbers like that. And then 2 wake up after KOs, which is nice, but 2 failed catches. Looking over at Aves, we've got the dice are looking nice in the center, like nice and bubbly in the middle. 27, 27, 24, 28 with 19 and 20 on the bookends. Not too bad. 100% on the pickup, 4 of them. Again with the GFIs, 100% on the GFIs, got 5 total. Armor, 23 and 12 for 65%. That's pretty good for humans. It's not bad. Maybe a little bit on the softer side, but whatever. Not too bad when you have that many hits. Injuries 10 and 3. Dodges 3 and 4. That's a bit of an interesting one. Got some just rough goes, it looks like. Catches 6 and 2. Fireball 3 successful. That's rough. And then 1 failed, so 4 of them hit. Wake-ups 1 and 1, casualties 2 and 0, passes 3 and 1, boneheads 12 and 1. That is a really nice amount of boneheads there. Black dice. Lots of both downs. There are defender stumbles. 16 on the both downs and 18 on the skulls. Do we actually have any that took? Do have a couple that took there. We've got a reroll, a bunch of single die there. So just the one that took, but then there's lots of like dub skull, both down and a single skull. Some pushes, so. 17 pals, that's real nice there. Let's go look at werewolves. We got 16 pals, 11 stumbles, lots of pushes, lots of both downs. And we're looking at, actually it looks like they're just, yeah, like they just had some, but like looks like they're a lot less in blocks. But I thought, oh, just a lot less armor breaks. It seems okay. So we got a double skulls right there. That's a bit rough, but it looks like with 13 and like 5 of them right there, there's not going to be a lot that are giving us problems there. That's a both down into a push in a skull. That's rough. Haynes not doing so great. Haynes pulling a lot of the dub skulls down. Wow, tighty whitey getting one, but then he's got double pow. That's pretty good. So yeah, good block dice there overall for those two guys. Do we have? I think that was good for them. We'll go look at the Bull Dwarves slay men. We've got a death. Let's see what we got here. Let's pull up the old Rel discussion. We'll look for Bull Dwarf. Dwarves. Let's see here. We have. Where's that death? We got a blocker that died, but it looks like it's a 2 SPP blocker, so not a lot, but it's impressive that a blocker went down. Thick skull and like a 9 armor. That's pretty beast. That Stinky and Originals were able to put something down like that. So 15 armor breaks for Bull Dwarves versus Stinky and Originals with 17 armor breaks. Stinky and Originals bringing out two touchdowns, a pass, and an expulsion. And their that sweet Pestigore sitting there. He's two points away. He's so close. Absolute punch fest. Took out 5. Whoa! Damn! Looking at the stats here, we've got 31% ball possession by Bull Dwarves and 62 by Stinky and Originals. Damn. Half the opponents, 50% of their opponents. That's some craziness. 1 successful pass and catch on the Stinky and Originals. We got 32 blocks and 34 blocks. 7 KOs inflicted versus 3 KOs inflicted. But then we switch over to 2 injuries inflicted and 5 injuries inflicted. So lots of points. Yeah, Mighty Blow will do it for you. 1 kill inflicted, which is pretty good. That's a blocker, which is nice. So we got 30 yards there, 84 running yards from Stinky and Originals. And let's see, we've got 5 injuries and 1 extra sustained, and we've got 2 injuries and 1 extra sustained. So a little bit of extra fun had there. And looking at the Stinky and Originals, their skill points, that's definitely showing 5 injuries going on there and a couple of touchdowns. So that's some roughness. Bull Dwarves, looking a little light in the middle right there. That the 18 threes, and like 28 fours, not bad. But then you got the 25s and the 1s. You got some 31 2s and 36 5s. It's a bit rough. This is, you usually want this one to be a little bit higher. Well, it is higher than that, but yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. Catches 1 and 2, pickups 2 and 2. Oof. Dodge 3 and 2, armor. Whoa! That is ridiculous. 48% success rate on armor for Bull Dwarves. Wow. Injuries 12 and 6. Oof. GFI's 10 and 2. That's pretty good. Foul appearance, mighty successful. That's a lot better than many other games. Casualties 5 and 1. Wake ups 1 and 4. That is savage. Stinky and Originals, we got 40% armor. Whoa! Injuries 5 and 10. GFI is 9 and 2. Pickups 3 and 1. Really stupids. Good job on those. Wake up 6 and 4. That's a bit brutal. Casualties 2 and 1. We got 1 and 1 on the regenerations. So we got 1 fail, 1 success, and a good bribe. a catch and one failed catch, one successful catch, and one pass. Dice are looking pretty even, real low drop there on the 1s and the 5s. But that's interesting. Let's go to block dice, and we got, for Stinky and Originals, we got 7 on the skulls, 8 on the dub skulls, and then we got 19 stumbles and 15 pows. Holy crap. Bull Dwarves, 12 and 12 on the top end there, with 10 both downs, which are probably on dudes that can take it, because that's generally... But none of them were picked, it looks like, so it was all... Didn't need it, it looked like. So maybe Singletailed wasn't the one that was running that. But then, yeah, we got both downs here. Interesting. And then we got some, couple of the skulls were in real bad spots there. We got a dub skulls into also dub skull into a reroll there. That's we rolled that into a stumble. That's nice though. That's pretty good. But yeah, that's some rough gameplay there. Wow. Let's look at Dikimakuras versus the elves. We got another death in the Dikimakuras. Not so great. Elf emergency. Let's take a look at what we lost. He lost himself a 6 SPP Blitzer. That's not too bad. That's what, like 60 gold? Or 60, yeah, 60,000? Like, that's nothing. That's cheap stuff, so easily replace that. And you got a catcher with MVP, that's pretty good. But then you've got Elf Emergency. He looks like he's leveling up those War Dancers, getting there. 1 point off. Systemic Elfie. So looking at the stats there, we've got 2 touchdowns and 2 passes on an Elf Emergency, 9 armor breaks, 1 expulsion. On the other side, we've got 1 death, 12 armor, and 1 expulsion. I almost said 12 expulsion. That would have been hilarious. Looking at the stats, 50% ball possession by Dikimakuras and just not able to pull it through, it looks like. 31% on Elf Emergency, but they had the 2 passes, or the 2 touchdowns. So we got 2 passes, 2 successful catches, 34 blocks for Dikimakuras, 28 on Elf Emergency with 3 KOs, 2 injuries, and a kill. Dikimakuras only able to pull out 1 KO and 2 injuries out of those rolls. So 88 yards run, 84 yards for Elf Emergency, and then a little bit of passing going on as well. That is pretty good. And looks like there's a little bit more. Yeah, so we got 3 KOs, 2 injuries, and a kill, and they sustained 3 KOs, 4 injuries, and a death. So that's a bit rough. The extra 2 just kind of thrown in there for giggles, it seems. Elf Emergency doing good work. So that's 2 touchdowns. So there's their 2 touchdowns. They got 2 successful passes going on there. They got a beatdown. They've got another beatdown here, and another, and they're 5 points for the pass there. So it's interesting. And lots of because there's the 2. They had the 2 hits, and those were both the 2 beatdowns, like they caused actual injuries, and then there's 2 more that they seem to have caused themselves. So looking at the numbers, we got Dikimakuras, pretty average, actually, right along the board, like 25, 23, 25 there. A little higher on the 3s, a little low on the 19s, but not enough to be anything crazy. Dodge is 56%. That is really, I would expect that to be higher. 50-50 on a reroll, that's generally a little bit better than that. Injuries, yeah, because there's 3 pluses, and then a dodge on a 3+. Yeah. So you just kind of got them locked up pretty well with those elves. Dodges 56. Yep. Injuries 8 and 5. GFI 16 and 3. That's pretty good. Armor 55%. That's about what you'd expect from a 7. Casualties 3 and 3. That's a bummer. Not much you can do about it, but it's a bummer. Pickups 4 and 1. That's pretty good. That's nice to see. I guess 1 pass. No catch though. And we got 2 wake-ups and 3 failed wake-ups, so just not a great there. And then a successful fireball on them. That's kind of impressive. Elf Emergency was able to drop a fireball there. Looking at Elf Emergency, dice are... Okay, there's a little bit more fluctuation on. We got a 17, we got a 27, we got a 22, 23 in there, we got a 13, and then we got a 33. There's just a wide spread of stuff all over the place, like real stretched out. Let's see here. So, dodge, 75%. lots of it. 1 leap, and it was successful. 100% on the GFIs. 8 full GFIs and 100% on that. 2 and 1 on the catches. 13 and 10 on armor breaks. That makes sense. They're elves. 11 and 2 on injuries. 1 and 1 casualties. The wake-up's 1 and 1. That's a bit of a... I wonder who it was, but that's not too bad, actually. You could do a lot worse than that. Pickups 3, and all of them successful. A couple of take roots, about half of them, a little over half have failed. 3 failed there. Stand-ups 1 and 2. Probably one of those take... that tree might have got knocked down at some point. And then double on the passes. 2 successful there, so that was really good. Let's look at the block dice for Elf Emergency. 16 POWs. They were just going to town, especially when you got 5, 5, 20 pushes, so tons of pushes there, and then 9 stumbles, like you'd expect. These are both half of what the other ones are looking. You got your 10, 10 and 10 on the pushes, 9 on the POW, the stumbles were low, and then 16 on the POWs, so just real POW heavy. Dikimakuras, no POWs. That is hurtful. And same number as skulls, which is a bit of a brutal one to roll with. Both downs, not super helpful. Only the 4 of them. Those are usually, you like that a bit more. And then a bunch of dodges against elves. It's not gonna cut it. And then a lot of pushes. Yep, got a lot of push and stumble. That's a rough game. Whoa. Double stumble into a double stumble into a double stumble. Lots of stumbles in there. That's some brutalness right there. And there's another one there. Wow. All right. That's hurtful. Looks like the block dice just not playing fair. And then just in general, the D6 is kind of spread out crazy like, so not super awesome. Lost Presidents versus Misheard. So we've got Lost Presidents winning 2-1. Against Misheard. We got Jim the Boatman, brand new dude. He already has some hurt on him. He's a thrower. He already got a hurt. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown yet. Maybe it just happened? No, it looks like he's out of that. We do have a death. Let's go see what happened. Lost Presidents. Versus Misheard. We lost a... Who's dead? We got a kick, lineman with kick. So 12 SVP linemen lost. That's not the worst, especially with that team. He's got some pretty seasoned guys on there. So to lose like a 1-level dude is pretty nice. Let's see here. So we've got 2 touchdowns from Lost Presidents, 3 passes, 9 armor breaks, and a death. Over to looking at Misheard, we've got a touchdown, 15 armor breaks, and 2 expulsions. That's a bit of a nice one there. But he does have 5 SVP. The MVP there going to Tony Danza on his right, which is pretty good. Getting him a little bit more. He's real close there, about 8 away. Move to the statistics. We got 55% ball possession, most of it in their own half, 37% in their own half, during the Lost Presidents. Oh, that's how that works. Yeah, it's from a couple reviews ago. So at 3 passes, 3 successful catches, 41 blocks on both sides, 3 KOs for the Lost Presidents versus 1 over on Misheard. And then we've got... I'm so confused. We've got, okay, so 1 KO inflicted, but then 4 injuries and a kill from Misheard. And then over here we got 3 KOs inflicted and 1 injury inflicted, no kills, but 130 yards of running with 26 yards passing. Misheard pulling 50 yards running, just crazy. And then of the 4 injuries inflicted, 6 casualties were sustained, which that is a bit rough. So we do have the win going to Lost Presidents, but they ended up with, let's see here, that's 11, 14, 16 points there. We got 10, 16 points on both sides, actually. That's pretty good spread, not gonna lie, especially for a 1-down loss against a pretty skilled team and a pretty good player as well. I mean, he's okay. Yeah, he's a really good player. So looking at the dice for Lost Presidents, that's what you like to see. Like 3s and 4s. Those are really good numbers. A lot 36 and 37, 3s and 4s. And then you're down to the 28s. You got 6 on the 30s, and then you drop all the way down to 24 on the 1s. Looking at armor, 52%, probably a little low for humans. I think they're usually sitting a little closer to 60, but it is what it is. Kind of and get some good rolls from Misheard there. So injuries 12 and 6. That's a bit rough. Casualties 3 and 5. Dodges 24 and 11. So lots of dodges happening. A decent chunk failing there. GFIs 4 and 2. Dauntless, a failed Dauntless. 1 failed Dauntless. But 6 catches. What are you going to do? A pickup, 3 passes. Bonehead, 100% on the Boneheads. That is beautiful to see. And 1 wake up after the KO. So for the Misheard, so we're looking at 68% armor. That's pretty good. 7 and 4 on the injuries. 3 and 2 on the wake up after KOs. 1 stab, 3 fails. He's getting a couple more in there, guys. You got to watch it. 1 jump up that was successful. We got a casualty that failed there, and a regen with a failed regen, which is a bummer. Bribe worked. Dodges 100% fail. That is painful. Wow, all of them, every one of them. And that's a turnover for each too, usually. So 1 and 1 on the pickups, 1 for the GFIs. So on the dice rolls, we got 9 4s, which is really a kind of a crazy outlier. Half as many of everything else. But then 17 a little bit low on the shred, but then lots of 1s. Lots of 1s. That's probably where all those dodges were. Like 25 1s is a brutal amount there. And then 6s is where he's going to get those armors, the armor rolls and stuff. So that's some pretty crazy numbers. A bit rough there. Let's go back to the block dice. Misheard. Oh, 18 on the skulls. So many skulls. More skulls than even the pushes. So we've got 14 of the both downs. Probably not great for these guys, not gonna lie. Humans are gonna do a little better because they've got some more guys with armor. Got some POWs, which is pretty good, but he's got, the problem is normally this would be okay against humans, but his team is really evolved, so he's got some dodges out there. 11 POWs, which was enough to get him some work done and get some pain put on the field, but just not enough to lock down much more of the team. Let's look at Lost Presidents. They have 11 POWs, so it looks like were better on the armor breaks, like on successful hits after the armor break, because they got a lot of POWs, a lot of stumbles. Both of these are actually probably going to do pretty well. This is going to be really nice against the Misheard. Not a lot of dodge going on over there. But then a bunch of skulls and a bunch of both downs. Doesn't look like they were hugely effective, though. Yeah, it didn't really impact a lot. It caused a few rerolls, but then they would be like, that's a push and a skull. That's not bad, but then we've got a POW and a skull, a POW and a stumble. We got 2 dub skull into a skull and a POW, so it didn't seem to slow him down too much. This block right here, a stumble and a skull with a skull and a POW and a stumble and a skull. Yeah, no, it's good. Lots of skulls, but all having the opposite effect at the same time. So that's pretty good. Let's look at Blood Gang. The gang loses Blood Bowl. I don't know how I have messed it up so much that I call them Blood Gang all the time. That's what your next team is, man. Just live with it. So we've got against the Flyboys. The Flyboys coming in. Oof, look at that. There's a lineman, a level 1 lineman picking up 5 SPP to almost level up. Teasing right there. Versus you got Charlie Kelly, a blitzer, level 5, picking up the MVP. That's really where you want those extra points to go. So we have 1 touchdown on the gang losses, 3 passes, 13 armor breaks, which is pretty good. Elves versus it's Dark Elves, so they're going to beat up pretty well, but against the Flyboys, they're just a well-built team. They've been around quite a while. 2 touchdowns on the Flyboys, a pass, 5 armor breaks, and 1 expulsion. So let's take a look at the numbers here. 68% ball possession, and there it is off the humans there. They were able to pick up on their own and they get a score or 2, but then unfortunately it looks like they were able to get in there, get the ball off of the Dark Elves and hold on to it in the opponent's half. 3 passes to 1, all of them successful on each side. 30 blocks succeeded on the gang losses with a KO, 3 injuries, no kills, 72 yards run, 8 yards pass. On the other side, we've got 33 blocks succeeded, 4 KOs, no injuries, no kills. So we've got lots of SPP built up over here. They're going to have the 2, Flyboys are going to have the 2 touchdowns, so they're going to be nice points there. But I got a touchdown and 3 injuries, so that's a bit good for them. 106 yards run, 6 yards pass. And it looks like the KOs and stuff sustained were exactly the same. So no extra sucky rolls on the other sides. So we end up with 12 points on the Flyboys and 10, 12, 14, 17 points, SPP points going to the gang losses. That's pretty good on their stuff overall. Nice spread out too. I'd have to look at the team. I don't remember the specific names, but do we have... That's not as important. Look at the dice rolls. Let's do that next. Alright, so for the gang losses Blood Bowl, for the losing Blood Bowl, we've got pretty good armor, 68%. That's pretty good. 15 and 7. Dodges 31 and 8. That is, I believe, low for elves. They generally are doing it a 4+. Do Dark Elves don't have 4? I'm pretty sure they still have 4. Injuries 7 and 0. We got Wake Up After KOs 3 and 2. A couple of rough ones holding out there, taking a nap. When you're getting beat up by humans, what are you gonna do? 2 stabs successful. You gotta watch it. The stabbing's picking up, and 3 fails there. 5 catches. That's what you'd expect. 3 passes. A couple of just extra dumps around. 2 pickups. 5 and 1 on the GFIs, which is pretty good. So a little high on the 1s. 25 of them versus about 22, 23 on everything else, and then some 16 on the 2s. Which is like really high on the numbers there. So I don't know, be interesting to see. I wish you can get like a breakdown of like positive versus negatives. Maybe that'll be something for Blood Bowl 3. Armor for the humans, 33%. That is not an average amount. That is significantly under what anyone would consider average, honestly. That's putting us at 10 and 3 on the injuries, 1 and 1 on the wake ups, 8 and 2 on dodges, thwarting the shadow, 1 and 1. We got 2 and 3 on the catching, 8, and so there's like 3 of the catching. A couple of those seem to be picked up by the Dark Elves. Surprised they weren't able to do something with that. They usually, maybe they just pulled some 1s out of the dodging there. GFI is 8 and 2, 3 pickups. 100%. Boneheads 11 and 1. We got a 0 on the loner. That's a bit rough. Casualties 2 and 3. Oof, and a pass. 1 pass successful. Looking to block dice for Flyboys. High on the skulls. Yeah, that's a bummer. Lots of pushes, which is not. It's neutral. Both downs, these can be usually be a little bit better. Humans can generally take advantage of that nicely. Lots of POWs, or lots of stumbles, which is not going to be super great against an elf team. 12 POWs, that's pretty nice. You like to see that. But those skulls, looks like there were a lot of them, and it probably just limited his activity, but it doesn't look like it sank him for anything. So that's not too bad. Looking over at the Gang Loses Blood Bowl, we've got 4 skulls, 10 both downs. Depending on who's got those, that could be okay. 25 pushes, 13 of the stumbles, and 8 POWs there. That's what's that? 10, 13 there. So 13, 13, 10, 8, 4. It's interesting spread. We got a couple of games with like they're spread out on the numbers there. It's a bit interesting. Looking at, we've got a dub skull. They had to pick the Charlie Kelly had to do the dub skull there. Yeah, I got some dub skulls, pals, lots of stumbles there. Not too bad overall. Yeah, we got a skull into a dub skull on Sweet D. Rerolled into double pushes. That's a bit of fun. So that is a pretty good game. Nicely set up there. Last one here, we have Warpstone Rock and Roll with a 3-1 against Godzilla Cult. What is happening? Oh, we got a death. It is not the one I've been waiting for. Mothra 2. I want your number. Godzilla Cult, and even worse is Godzilla Cult getting the SPP on that dead skink there. That is a bit of a bummer there. That is the 4th iteration. He's got, I guess we'll be seeing Anguarius. The 5th will be picking up along at some point here. Yeah. But, let's see here. We got, and the Saurus with a minus movement. Yeah, that's nice. Wait, we got 1 dead on each? We do have 1 dead on each. I missed that. Yeah, so Warpstone, they lost a Blitzer with 34 SPP. That is rough. Mighty Blow piling on picked up a niggle and died. That's a bit... And jump up. Oh, wow. That's a crazy blitzer there. And down for the count. So let's look at the numbers. We've got 3 touchdowns, 1 death, 3 passes, 22 armor breaks, and an expulsion for the Warpstone. Godzilla Cult with 1 touchdown, 1 death, 12 armor breaks. That's a 3-1. And unfortunately, the oh, it's a movement skink too. That's the worst. So they had a movement plus skink going down with the death there, and picking up the MVP. That's a bit rough to see happen. Let's see. We're looking at ball possession. 62% Warpstone to 25% Godzilla Cult. It's hard to get that back there. And 18% of their own half, so they held it for a little bit, but just couldn't keep it together. Dead Skink will do that. We got 1 pass, 1 success on Warpstone. Nothing over on Godzilla Cult, but that's good because you don't want to pass with Skinks. 28 blocks succeeded versus 48 on Godzilla Cult. They were just not able to pull solid numbers, it looks like. 2 KOs to 6 KOs, 4 injuries for Warpstone, 2 injuries for Godzilla Cult, 1 kill each. 136 yards run for the Warpstone. Holy crap. Up against 70 for the Godzilla Cult. Like, nearly double there. That's crazy. 2 yards passing for some fun shenanigans in the middle. 48 blocks sustained, 6 KOs sustained. We got 6 KOs inflicted. We got an extra casualty. Looks like 3 instead of 2, and we got 5 instead of 4 on the Godzilla Cult. They're getting some casualties there too. That means we ended up with a death, 6 out on the cat on them there, versus only 4 out over here, which is definitely gonna make some big changes there for you. And lots of points there for the Warpstone, just getting those knockdowns, just brutal enough there. Look at the dice rolls. Whoa. Okay, for Warpstone, 36 1s, 39 6s, and then we got 20s across for most everything else. So we got 32, the 3s popping up to 32 there, just a little bit, but real low on the middle ones there, and high on the ends. You usually want them a bit better in the center. Armor rolls 20 and 13, 60%, which actually might be reasonable for this type of game. Yeah, dodge, 75%, pretty good. Injuries, yeah, not bad. 50-50 on the wake up after KOs. That can give you problems there. We have a failed diving tackle. Interesting. I don't get to see that very often. Diving tackles at all. We got a jump up. 1 successful, 1 failed. 2 casualty, 1 fail. 2 successful casualties, 1 failed casualty. The wording is so weird on this. GFI is 100% with 6 of them. Pickups with 100% on 2. Catches 66%, 2 and 1. Got a 1 drop there. We got a pass, 1 successful, 3 fails on the passes. Really stupid. Doing really good there. 12 and 2. We got a stab. 2 stabs and 1 fail. Holy crap! Stabs picking up, guys. Gotta watch it there. Actually, 2 stabs against the Sorai. That could be, or even the Skink, I guess. That could be what would put it down there. Godzilla Cult with 37 armor, 10 successful, 17 fails. That is savage. Injuries 16 and 6. Just oof, lots of rolls there. Able to like scooch by and just survive with just KOs and stuff. But man, casuals 3 and 4. Tentacles 2 fails. That's a bummer. That's really sucks not being able to go anywhere. Pickups 3 successfuls. Good job, Skinks, doing their work. Dodges 4 and 3. Bad job, Skinks, not doing their work. GFIs 6 and 2. That's not bad. Impact of the bomb. We had a bomb game. We had 1 success and 5 fails. I bet that caused a couple problems as well. We have intercept 0 and 3. So 3 failed intercepts. They had the chance and just weren't able to pull through. They're like thrown over the top of Sorai probably. Wake after KOs, 3 that failed. That's bummer. We got the thwarting shadow 1 and 1. Boneheads 78. Pretty good. Loner failed 1, lightning bolt successful 1. That's pretty good. Passes passes successful, lightning bolts failed. So there we go. Dice are looking not bad. 21's a bit low. And you got the 34 here, but 27, 34, 26, 31, 25. That's a bit closer on that spread there. But still got a little bit of a spread there, but not the worst. Let's go back to Warpstone and let's look at the block dice. What are we looking at? So 14 pals, 10 stumbles. Against the big guys, the stumbles, there's gonna be solid ones there. We do have some skulls that happened. There's a whole string of them. Looks like Sticky Sticks was not able to really play the game there. Killy Joel had 1, 2, 3 skulls in his 5 hits that he did. Yeah, just going kind of ham on there. 10 on the both downs, which generally against the big guys is not going to be super helpful. Pushes real low on the pushes, considering what the other numbers are. 10 stumbles, 14 POWs just straight up. And against the right guys, the POWs are where it's going to be at. Let's look at this Godzilla cult. We've got, see, that's their, I expect these to be a little bit more like that, yeah. And this is just crazy that that just wasn't able to pull it out. 22 POWs, 23 stumbles. Like, even against the rats, there's going to be a couple that don't have the dodges. This is going to be really good. We got some triples in there that are happening, but then we've got like King Gidrut the second, 2 skulls and a push, rolling into two both downs and a push. So that's just like some craziness right there. 17 on the both downs, 43 on the pushes. That's, yeah, and then just skulls. So it's surprising to me that they did so badly, and it really is just like, it seems their rolls on their armor rolls were just complete shit. Godzilla 2 just wrecking the faces off of these guys, and yeah, not able to pull out the heavy hits. So that is the game. The game so far this week. Finishing Moves and myself are trying to work out our times. Looks like he's got early mornings, and I unfortunately am starting work in early mornings, so it'll be rough trying to figure out what we can do in the next couple days. So we will figure that out at that point. But yeah, thanks a bunch for hanging out. You guys have yourselves a wonderful time. We'll see you in week 10. Where it's starting to get really hot. We're coming down to the end. We'll see who ends up on the leaderboards. Aves of a Fetter. Is someone going to knock him down? He's doing up there. 6 wins, 2 losses. We got to knock him down. Elf Emergency coming all the way back from getting beat in Game 1 against me. Wandering Wounders getting beat in that first one all the way up to 2nd place. President's Flyboys. Look at this. 3 humans in the top 5. That is crazy. That is crazy. And Orcs at the end! Did you not? Am I misremembering that? I thought you were the one game that I won. We can double check though. Elf Emergency. I remember you had history. Alright, Elf Emergency, Lost Presidents. Bulldrors. Gang Loss. Farther back, the Wounding Wonders. Interesting. I swear, who did I lose? Who did I win against that first game? My bad. This whole time I thought I'd beaten you for some reason. Look at me thinking I beat the other elves. Okay. Wounding, Elf Emergency. I beat Gang Losses. Oh. And then it's all been downhill from there. Alrighty then. Well, fuck me, right? Alrighty. So that's it. We're going to take a look. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, you guys. I'll push you guys over. I'll dump this onto YouTube, and we'll have it up in just a little bit, hopefully. See you guys. Bye.